or this file input type. So the current count, we need to first of all select all types that have the file property, so all input types with this file here. So we use a selector and we say input, and we have 2 square brackets, and then we say type equals file. Now we've successfully selected here all input types on the page, so all input types here which have the form type for file, sorry. And at the end of that we just put length without brackets like this. This is just going to count the amount of elements on the page. So at the moment, if we go ahead and alert out current underscore count, you'll see that when we press add more we have the value 1, and this means that we can add a value to this, and then the next file type we create, we can add this number here, so we can have file underscore 2, and then the next time we click add more, the count will be 2, so the next file will be file underscore 3. So hopefully that makes sense. Let's go ahead and get rid of that alert. Okay, so now we want to do is supply another variable which will just be the next count, or the next file count. I'm just going to call this next underscore count, and that's going to be current count plus 1. So now what we have is the name of the next form field, this file field, available to us. We can call it file underscore next count, and that will be 2 in this case because we've added 1 to this original variable. Right, so now we need to actually go ahead and prepend an element to this form. So we need to first of all select the element that we want to prepend to, and this is file underscore upload. Remember, that's the name of our form here, file upload. And we want to go ahead and prepend something. So we're going to do this inside single quotation marks, and this is essentially going to be paragraph tags, and then inside an input type of file with a name of file underscore, and this is going to be X. Now X is going to, in a minute when we modify this, be the next count variable here. So what we want to do is we want to essentially just append on this next count variable. So now the next, every time we press this button, so every time we click, we'll count the current amount of input type files, or input fields with a type file, add one on, and then create a new one with the file underscore and the additional count. So now that we've done that, let's go ahead and test the actual functionality of it. So remember, prepend is essentially going to, inside of the element that you specify, prepend some data. So every time we prepend, what it's going to do is it's going to prepend another input type there, okay, with the paragraph tags as we've specified it in ext.js. So let's go ahead and refresh. Let's click add more. You can see that it's prepending this code that we've supplied in ext.js. Now we need to go ahead, I'm just going to get rid of this at the top. Now we need to go ahead and check that it's actually submitting it properly. So if, for example, I was going to choose a file here and click upload, we've set the method to get, so we see file underscore 1 equals tartan.jpg. That's not a problem because that's the name that we gave. Now we need to know that this replacement of this variable, or this number here, has actually worked. So let's go ahead and check that. And we can check that by returning to the original page. We'll add, say, 3 different fields and upload 3 different files. Let's choose different files for each one, upload, and now you can see that the variable that we replaced for the name has actually updated by 1, or incremented by 1. So we've got 1 here, 2 here, and then file 3 here, and that will continue as you add more. So you could add 100 and you would submit files, you would have 100 different input fields of the type file, with the name being file underscore, and then it would go from 1 to 100. So that's essentially it. This probably is the easiest way to do this, by just prepending this different element on. You'll notice that when we obviously upload, we lose all of these, and that's for the reason that we're not actually sending this to a file other than the start. So there are ways to make this slightly more efficient, but this gives a really short and quick example of how to achieve something like this, and how to file, or obviously add different or additional file input types. Now if you were going to go ahead and handle this in the back end, so for example you would obviously go ahead and change this value here to post, so it's sent as post data with this enc type here, over here. Now the action would obviously be a specific file, so for example it would be you know, upload.php or something, whichever language that you're using, and then you would have to obviously find a way in the web language that you choose to grab all of these you know, different files that have been sent to this page. And that's quite easy. I'm not going to go into it, but you can use, I know in PHP you could say go and use $_ files, and you could use a for each loop for each one, so you could say for each files as file, and then you could retrieve the particular data from here. So it's quite easy to do with regards to actually processing the upload once you've sent it, but for now in jQuery that's how we would prepend a you know, an additional element to a particular element. So the reason we're obviously prepending is because if we were going to go ahead and append and make these appear underneath each other, it would automatically appear under this add more link at the very end of the form. So there are obviously ways around this. You can use the next and previous functionality in jQuery, but I think prepending it's better because it then becomes the very most top element. So that's quite a quick and easy way to do it. Obviously there are ways to improve this code, but for now that's the quick and easy way to do.